Today we are fixing up some homemade tortilla chips, and y'all, this is gonna be so much fun. And what's special about these is that they are low carb, they're keto tortilla chips, and I really think this is gonna be the recipe that's gonna be able to give us that crunch that we've been missing. Hi, I'm Melissa Diane, and right now Jay and I have been dieting because we ate so much over the holidays. We had a great time, but we ate too much. And so we are missing out on our crunchies. And so I have been trying so hard to find a chip that will give us that crunch, but it's low carb. We've tried several, none have worked. But y'all, this one I came across last night. I was looking on the internet. I think this recipe is gonna work. And I'm gonna put the place where I found it in the description section in the video, below this video, because it's from a place called WHOLESOME, Y-U-M, and they've got great stuff there. And we're gonna be following this step by step to make sure we get it right. So we're gonna start out by going ahead and showing you all the ingredients we're gonna be using, and there's not that many ingredients. First of all, we are gonna be using some almond flour. And so we're gonna need about 2 cups of this. We're gonna use some mozzarella cheese, and there is, let's see, it's a 1/2 cup of shredded mozzarella cheese. And then we need an egg, so we got our egg. And then for our spices, you're gonna have some chili powder, and then some garlic powder, and some cumin, and some paprika. We're gonna use a little bit of salt, and then this recipe called for something that I have never ever used before, and it is called Cornbread Flavoring, just to give it that extra little taste. And so here's what the box looks like. I got this off Amazon. I will link this for you so you can get to it. And I did open it, and y'all, this does taste just like a little bit of a cornbread. So I think that's gonna give the chip that little bit of a flavor along with this cheese, y'all. I think this is finally gonna be the recipe we've been looking for. Okay, so here we go. And I think this is so much fun that we get to try this together for the very first time. We're gonna keep our fingers crossed that this works. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna preheat our oven. So let me jump over here. We're gonna preheat this oven to 350, y'all. So we've got it on 350, and it is off and preheating right now. So we got it going. And now we are in our large bowl. It says we're going to mix the flour and the spices. And we need, let's see, 2 cups of this almond flour. So let me move this over here. We're gonna get this going. We're gonna need 2 cups. And y'all, you know, in most of my recipes that we do, a lot of my recipes, we just kind of make them up. And I'm not real exact on measurements. I'm not one who likes to really sit there and, you know, make sure that all the measurements are just, you know, exact. I don't like to cook that way. I like to kind of go by feel. But for this one, we are not going to mess it up. We are going to do exactly what it says. Okay, so with this almond flour here, I've got it right at 2 cups. I put a little bit too much in, and I took it out because we're gonna follow this to a T here. So we've got 2 cups of this almond flour, and this is my first time to be cooking with almond flour, so we'll see how this goes. So we're gonna put this in, 2 cups of it. There we go. Now let's put in our spices. And for our spices, I'm gonna go ahead and take all these lids off. We're gonna be very careful with these measurements. Okay, let's see here. We're gonna be using a 1/2 teaspoon. And so for this 1/2 teaspoon, we're gonna be using our chili powder. Let's get this over here. We got our chili powder. We have got our cumin and our garlic powder. And for all of these 3, we're using just a 1/2 teaspoon. So let's get these in here. There's the garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon. All right. Now we've got our cumin. And I never would have thought, y'all, to put this in there. But, like I said, we're gonna do it, okay? And then we also have got some chili powder. Now, if y'all have tried some recipes, if anyone's watching and you have tried some recipes where you have gotten some low carb chips and you think they're really great and work, please put that information in there, because I really would like it. Okay, now we're gonna use a 1/4 teaspoon for just 2 items. A 1/4 teaspoon for our paprika, Okay, that's just a little bit, not much at all. And then also 1/4 teaspoon here for our salt. So let's get that in, just a little bit of salt. And I sure hope this works because, oh my gosh, I have been missing having chips. We have been missing that. You know, fruit and salad can only just go so far. Okay, let's gonna mix all this up, mixing up that flour. Now we've got the almond flour and the spices all mixed together, and I did go get my hand mixer because it does say that in a minute we're going to be using that hand mixer. And now we're going to be adding in 1 egg. So I'm just going to crack 1 egg, put 1 egg here. There we go. And it calls for, you don't have to use it, it says, but it suggests that you use 1/2 tablespoon. So we've got 1/2 tablespoon here of this corn, this sweet corn extract. So we're going to take this, it comes like in a dropper. So let me just double check this, y'all. Yep, this is it, sweet corn extract. So I was going to take, it looks a few of these little droppers to put in here. We're going to do 1/2 tablespoon of this. So we're going to do exactly what it says, and then we'll see how we do. I need you to all keep your fingers crossed that this is going to work out, because I sure hope it does. My daughter and I have tried several ideas and just keep coming up short. All right, so we're going to put this in. There we go. Now we're going to get our hand mixer, and we're going to get a mixing. So now let's go ahead and get our hand mixer going. And y'all, every time I pick up this hand mixer, I always think of my grandmama because this is hers. So this olive green hand mixer here is at least, this thing is at least 50 years old. Can you believe that? A mixer that's 50 years old and we're still using it. Okay, let's stop and look at it and let's read our instructions again. And the instructions say to do this until it's a crumbled up dough, and that's what we have. We've got crumbles, so I'm gonna stop because those crumbles are starting to fly a little bit. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're supposed to take our 1/2 cup of shredded mozzarella. We're gonna put that in here, and we put it in the microwave until it melts. And so we're gonna I'm gonna run into the pantry real quick, and I'm gonna microwave this, and I will be right back. There's a few pieces here I wanna get. Okay, I'll see you in just a few minutes. Okay, y'all, so I am back from the microwave, and I have melted this mozzarella, and it is melty, so I'm gonna go ahead now and put this in here. Let's double check. Yep, so put this in here. Got it in. It's melting, but it's already starting to get a little bit firm. I don't like that, but let's see what happens. Let's get all this in here. And now we're supposed to take our hands, so I'm gonna put some gloves on and mix all this up. So let's do that. We put everything in we're supposed to. Yes, and then it actually says if it stops, if you have any trouble along the way, then you can reheat everything. Okay, well, hopefully we won't have to reheat it. Let's see. We're gonna mix this all together. We're doing good, we're mixing. We're gonna get our dough, and we're starting to get, I see what it's saying. It's starting to get a little dry. So let's double check on here. It says, add to the dough and knead and squeeze with your hands until well incorporated. If it stops incorporating before it's fully mixed, you can reheat it for 15 to 20 seconds. So let's go do that. It's looking really good, but I'm gonna go put this in the microwave for just about 15 seconds. Okay, we're back, and let's mix. Oh yes, this is so much better. Okay, getting our dough. Y'all, it smells really good. It's making me hungry. Like I said, I think we have found our recipe. Jay was not so sure this morning. He's like, you're gonna try that again? I said, yes, I'm determined to find a good low carb chip that we can make and munch on. My daughter Heather, I did not tell her that I was trying this, because I know she'd be like, Mom, you're trying again, because she's helped me with several. We've actually tried some of those cottage cheese ones, and we have just not been able to make those work. All right, so now what I'm supposed to do once I've done this is I'm gonna place this between two big pieces of parchment paper and roll it out. So let's get to it. Okay, so we're gonna move everything out of the way. Here we go. Let me scoot this on over. So now let's get our parchment paper. I'm not sure how big it's gonna need to be, but I don't think it needs to be any bigger than this. I'll put a piece down, put it this way. And now let's get another one. There we go. Have it ready to go. And now we're gonna reach over here and get this dough, y'all, that we've mixed all up. Look at this. Y'all, this smells so good. I'm gonna get another piece and put on top. And now we're gonna roll. I haven't ever done this before, so let's see what happens. I need to make it stay still. So let me put this on one end. There we go. And need to roll this. Whoa. I need muscles. Okay. It's going. I'm rolling. Okay, so let me roll for a few minutes and I'll be back. Okay, so I'm still rolling. I'll try to show you, I think from where the camera is over there you can see. It's working. We are definitely rolling this out. Here, we get a little piece right here. But it definitely is. Look at this. It is working. It's rolling out. The problem that I'm having is, let me push this over here, is keeping this bottom piece of parchment paper still. It wants to slide all over the place. So I've been trying to find some heavy things to put on it. So any suggestions you have on that, drop them in the comment section. That would be great. So I'm going to keep rolling. The directions say that you want this to be very thin, like 1/16 of an inch, I think is what it says. Let me look. It says on here, yeah, 1/16, 2 millimeters thick. You want them thin. So I'm going to keep rolling. It's not hard to roll it. It's just that bottom piece of parchment paper is sliding around. Okay, doing pretty good. I'll be right back. Okay, so let me get this out of the way so you can see a little better. I have rolled and rolled, and I do have to admit that this does not look quite like it did on the website, but I'm not giving up because I have rolled it. It is very thin, and we're going to take our pizza cutter and we're going to slice up or cut up some chips. And chips are not supposed to be perfect rectangles, so I think we'll be okay. Now over here, I'm gonna take my cookie sheet and get some more parchment paper. There we go. And we're gonna cut a piece of parchment paper to fit here on our cookie sheet. Now, as I am measuring this for the cookie sheet here, you know, a lot of times when I cook, I like to use my silicone mats, but I don't think that silicone mat would be good for this, because like when I bake cookies, I use that silicone mat for a lot of things, but I don't bake cookies on them because it seems to cause them to spread out too much. And the other chips that Heather and I did try, we were trying some cottage cheese chips and we put them on that silicone mat and they just, I think it caused them to flatten out so much. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and take this and like here's a chip, I think. Let's look here. And that's not a triangle, like saying cut everything into triangles, but I think we're just gonna have to do the best that we can. And so we'll try to cut some in triangles and see if we can do that, okay? And I'm just gonna go through here and cut up some of these and then put these over here on this cookie sheet. And then after I get my cookie sheet all full, I'll pop back on so you can see. And see that one right there, I think that's probably a little bit too thick. So I may cut some of these and then flatten them out a little more. Okay, so let me show you how I'm doing. Look at this. We actually do have some chips, okay? And I'm really pressing these down because it sounds like they really need to be thin, really thin. And so what I finally ended up doing is I ditched the top layer of the parchment paper and I've just been rolling it. And then the sections of this, I don't know if you can see it very well from there, but the sections of this that, you know, these edges are not really straight. So I got creative and I put my cutting board underneath here and then I fold these back down and I'm just cutting triangles out of them. And this is a lot of work for some chips, but I think it's gonna be worth it. And I've been on a mission. So hopefully y'all, this one's gonna work. But these do need to be thin. I'm worried that possibly some of these over here may not be thin enough. So I'm gonna keep pressing those down and get them as thin as I can. So I'm gonna keep going. And then I think what I'm gonna do is these extra pieces here, put these back in the microwave for about 5 seconds and let them get really nice and soft again, and then roll that out. And I'll probably get about 1.5 cookie sheets, I think. But this is doing pretty well, getting nice and thin, but they do need to be thin. Okay, so now we are ready. Look at this. I've got my chips, and I did go back and kind of slide this back up, sorry. I'm gonna take this, and I did go back and I kind of pressed them down to get them a little bit thinner. So we have enough for 1 whole cookie sheet, and then I have a few over here, extra. So we're gonna put these in the oven. It's on 350, and it's supposed to go for about, it says 8 to 12 minutes. So I'm gonna keep a close eye on them. Okay, so let's take a look. It's been about 6.5 minutes. So we're doing good. Obviously we got a ways to go, but y'all, these I think are actually gonna be chips. I'm excited. Okay, y'all, this has been 3 more minutes and I'm taking them out. Here we are. We're gonna let these cool for a few minutes and we'll be right back. So we've got some more in the oven, but Jay ran in the house from the hanger and I started to put these on a platter. So we're gonna get his opinion on our keto tortilla chips. So here's a pretty one.
I get to try one?
You get to try one.
Okay, cool.
And try one and tell me what you think.
Crunchy part's there.
Okay, so we did good on the crunchy. Good on the crunchy, but
That's
what
good.
about the flavor?
I think it tastes pretty good. Crunchy, good flavor.
You can taste the cheese.
Yeah, we could probably add a little more cheese or maybe some Mexican cheese or sharp cheese.
Sharp cheese, and what about salt?
We need salt.
So what do you want to try one with a little bit of salt on it now?
Yeah, we could do that.
Let's try that.
Let me put that one right there and put some salt on
Okay, we'll put a little salt in there. And this has actually been our best recipe of like the 4 we've tried. Okay, try that.
it.
See what you think. Is that a little better?
Salt helps.
Okay, all right. So we got a few more in the oven. We're gonna pull those out. We're gonna fix this up some guacamole and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Good. Determination, you did it. Good job.
Oh, thank you. Oh, give me a kiss. Well, here we are and we have our tortilla chips all ready here with our guacamole. Y'all, this looks so good and it really does taste great. Now be sure and check out that next video that's popping up and I'll see you over there in a few minutes. Bye-bye.